Yo, so what is good, everybody on YouTube? We are back today with a brand new video, and today we are going to be doing a challenge where we try to make the worst team in the NBA transform into the best team in the NBA and win an NBA championship. And right now, currently the team with the worst record in the NBA is unfortunately the Minnesota Timberwolves. And in all honesty, they have some pieces in this team. They have some young players that are not looking too bad. Of course, they have Karl-Anthony Towns, a superstar center. They have D'Angelo Russell, who has showed that he is an absolute baller at times. And some other pieces. Jarrett Culver really hasn't gotten the shot that maybe you would want as a T-Wolves fan. And Josh Okogie. Anthony Edwards, the number 1 overall pick as well. And for one, I'm going to let Jarrett Culver go ahead and start a new beginning somewhere else, see if we can recoup a first-round pick for him. That is really too unrealistic for me to do. Mitchell Robinson for him straight up. So I'm going to hold off on doing that one. I will do something like this maybe, but I do want a 2021 first-round pick. And they have the Hawks, so I would do that potentially here. See if we can get the Hawks first-round pick in recoup for him. They want Naz Reid and a second, and they add in Bruno Fernando. It seems pretty much fair to me. Why not get a 2021 Hawks unprotected first-round pick? That could end up being very valuable for us here. And, of course, for year one, we're going to kind of let it rock out and see where we can move on from there. As you can see in the first year here, Joel Embiid gets MVP season here, which is pretty on par with how he's been playing in real life, in all honesty. Checking out our standings, we finished with 35 wins, which is actually a lot better than kind of what they're on pace for this year, in all honesty. But we'll take it regardless. Hopefully we can still get a decent, maybe a top 10 pick at least. Because that would be pretty big to help this team grow going forward. And to look at the player stats from this season, Karl-Anthony Towns having a ginormous season with 27 points per game and almost 15 rebounds a game. D'Angelo Russell not coming in too far behind with 23.2 points per game. An incredible rookie season for Ant Edwards as well with almost 20 points per game. The Lakers end up routing the Sixers in the NBA championship year in 5 games, and we hop into the draft lottery where it's looking like they have us slated to get the number 9th overall pick, but we're just going to sim through this real quick. Maybe we'll stay, maybe we will not, and wow, we get very lucky that pick 9 ends up jumping up to pick 1 for us here. So the Minnesota Timberwolves actually get back-to-back first overall picks, which is ginormous. We definitely will take that. And of course, we have that Hawks pick at pick 20 as well, which could get us a rotation player maybe in a year. So not bad whatsoever. Hopping into the draft here, of course, we kind of have our eye on a guy already that most people would... you're going to expect him to go number 1 overall. It's Cade Cunningham. We're going to grab Cade. We can play him at the 1 or 2 if we really need to. Of course, Jalen Green could be a bucket as well. But we are going to take our shot on the Oklahoma State product of Cade Cunningham. And we end up taking Brandon Boston as well in the second with our second first-round pick. And he sometimes turns out pretty decent. So looking at this, we have a big logjam here at the guard position. So we're going to be moving Anthony Edwards up to the small forward position, which I think honestly will suit him just fine anyway. So he's going to be moved to the 3, and we're going to have to make some big roster moves here. As I said, there is a logjam of kind of young players in these guard spots, and just not enough minutes to go around, so we're going to have to make some moves to say the very least. So let's see what moves we can make to finesse this team to get even better here. Looking through what we got here, we are going to decline our 2-way right there. Definitely need some roster spots because I am going to be making some moves to say the very least. We're probably going to let Cade play the point, in all honesty. So moving D'Angelo Russell back to the 2 makes sense to me, which also means we are going to be moving on from one of the 2 between D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley, I would probably prefer to move on from, despite him having a really good year this year. His contract about $14-15 million. I feel like I can get some more value out of somewhere else. And with us already having some big contracts on the book in Ricky Rubio, D'Angelo Russell, and Karl-Anthony Towns, we might have to move him in all honesty. So let's check out what the market is at least and see if there's anything that really makes sense. I'm not loving any of these so far that I'm seeing. I kind of want to bring us in like a 4 that can really ball out for us. And I mean, Larry Nance is here, Precious Achiuwa, but so we're just going to see if we can move on from D'Angelo Russell instead. D'Angelo Russell, looking through his trade packages, some decent ones here as well. I'm not sure how realistic this one would be. Maybe if D-Book ever kind of gets a little annoyed in Phoenix and wants out. So we'll just do that one because I feel like it's realistic enough where it's not too cheesy, where we give up D'Angelo Russell and Chris Dunn and get back D Booker. So we'll do that one. Why not? And I would like to move on from Malik Beasley's contract and try to bring us in a power forward like I was talking about before. Maybe a guy like Christian Wood, if we can steal him from the Rockets, can play the 4 and is an absolute baller. I really like his game a lot. And we do end up being able to do it, so I will take that, thankfully. So our team is actually looking insane right now. Karl-Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Ricky Rubio, Christian Wood, Cade Cunningham, and we still have a little bit of money to get us like kind of a role player off the bench in free agency here, which is not bad. You see our rotations are going to be looking very solid with some good depth there. And we could maybe use like a backup power forward maybe. Looking into a guy maybe like Thad Young on a 1-year deal. I wouldn't mind that. Kind of brings a veteran presence as well. And you see our player progressions here. A lot of our guys are going up, and by a lot, honestly. Anthony Edwards up a lot. McDaniels up a lot. Christian Wood up 3, 2 for D-Book. And you just love to see it. Our team is really coming together that we've constructed so far here. And not too bad at all. So we will take it. In our year 1 here, year 2 here, but really year 1 that we made some big moves. This is what our rotations are looking like. So Ricky Rubio surrounded by all people that can shoot in his starting lineup. Anthony Edwards a little bit shaky, but can still hit them. So you see, that's kind of what we got facilitating there for him. And then off the bench squad, Cade, McDaniels. We have Thad Young and Juan Hernan-Gomez, which is definitely a solid bench squad, in all honesty, to say the very least. Send Brandon Boston to the G League for a year because it always helps their progression a lot. I'm actually going to send Jarrett Vanderbilt there as well, hoping that next year they can both be some type of rotation players for us and kind of get up a little bit there. And we have about a 3.5-star system proficiency. Trae Young ends up getting MVP here in our second year of the sim. 6th man of the year going to Precious Achiuwa. And let's check out where we actually finished overall. Checking the All-NBA teams, we're checking the rookie teams, and I'm sure that Cade did make the All-Rookie team, and yes, sir, he did, alongside Jalen Suggs, who was actually the Rookie of the Year. And checking out the standings here, our T-Wolves come in as the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. So our moves were pretty big ones, honestly. 24.7 points per game for D-Book, 19.2, and 11 for Cat, 17.6 a game for Anthony Edwards. Cade coming off the bench with a 17-piece a game, and Christian Wood as well, putting up over 15 a game for us, which is what you love to see. We brought in the depth, we brought in the pieces, and it's all working out, to say the very least. So you love to see it. And McDaniels putting up about 14.1 as well off the bench. Definitely very solid numbers. And you see what our rotations are looking like heading into the playoffs here. Let's get it and hope that we can make a little bit of a run this year. And in the first round, we are going to have a matchup up against, of course, Devin Booker's former team, and now our former teammate in D'Angelo Russell's Phoenix Suns team. So it should be an interesting one here, where there should be a lot of emotions going, in all honesty. So let's see how it ends up playing out. We find ourselves in a Game 7 against this team, and let's see if we can pull it out. Pretty back and forth early on, and very back and forth here in the fourth quarter. As you can see, it is anyone's game, and just a game of runs back and forth. We're going to end up hopping into this. As you can see, it's all tied up here, 116 apiece with 42 seconds left on the clock. Phoenix Suns coming down the court. Pull up J by Chris Paul. Gives them the 2-point lead here. We're coming down the court here. Do or die to get it out of the first round. Out to the corner, and yes, sir, Anthony Edwards smacks the corner 3, giving us a 1-point lead over this Phoenix Suns team. D'Angelo Russell driving in on Devin Booker, and it does not go. Christian Wood gets the big board there. Devin Booker getting sent to the line here to make it a 3-point game. Hits both of his free throws, and it is a 3-point game here with 13 seconds left in Minnesota, 121 to 118. And they're going to try for a big 3 there from Mikal Bridges, but it does not go. We are going to be making it out of the first round and defeating, of course, our former teammate here in D'Angelo Russell. D-Book dropping 27 in that win, 24-7 there from Cat, 17 from Anthony Edwards, going 1 for 8 from 3, so that big 3 there, the dagger was his only made 3, but we'll take it. Christian Wood with 17 and 18 rebounds in that game. McDaniels dropping us a 16-piece as well. Great stat lines. Huge game there from DeAndre Ayton, dropping 34 points, but it was not enough. Moving us into the second round here, up against a scrappy Nuggets team, to say the very least. As we all saw last year in the playoffs, you could not count them out by any means. And they end up absolutely waxing us 4-0, upsetting us as we did come in the number 2 seed. Huge games there with a triple-double from Jokic. Anthony Edwards leading our way, but it is what it is. Going to the playoffs here, the finals here, the Nuggets end up winning it all with Jokic getting finals MVP. And we're going to be keeping our team very much the same. We are going to be able to probably grab somebody decent because Ricky Rubio's contract is going to be off our books. No reason to be paying somebody that's now 76 overall so much money. Looking at who's here, Big Al maybe would be a decent fit for us, but I feel like as soon as we sign him, he'll probably regress because of his age. So we're just going to use the move to get Nerlens Noel. Not even sure if he'll get really ticked like that, but we'll see. Cade now in the starting lineup. Coming off the bench, you have McDaniels, Brandon Boston, Jarrett Vanderbilt, and Nerlens getting 12 minutes a game off the bench. So adding a little bit to our defense here. And a coaching change is maybe something I see in the future for us here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Bring in a coach that kind of more suits our offense. I don't want to run a defense-oriented team. I'd rather bring in like 7 seconds like Steven Silas here. And that will move us to a 4.5-star system proficiency here, which will really get us going this season, helping propel us to a 62-20 season here, which is absolutely huge. 22.5 a game for D-Book, almost 20 a game for Anthony Edwards, Cade right behind him, 19.6 a game, and Karl Anthony Towns actually the 4th highest scorer on the team, which I never really thought we'd see. So kind of shows you how much of a stride we made this season in all honesty. And we have a lot of shooting around on this team, which is perfectly suited for that 7 seconds kind of mentality. And as I spoke on about that shooting here, you can kind of see what the percentages we're shooting are. 44% from D-Book, 42% from Cade, and 40% from both Cat and Anthony Edwards, which is insane to have 4 players that shoot over 40% pretty much in our starting lineup here. I'll definitely take it, though. Definitely going to bless us kind of here in the playoffs, to say the very least, where we have a first-round matchup here up against Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz. They also have Victor Oladipo coming off the bench as a 6-man, which is a scary 6-man to say the very least, because we know that boy Depot is an absolute bucket. We are up 3-1 here, and we ultimately end up taking it in 5 over this team, which is huge. McDaniels dropping a 29-piece, Cade 28 as well. And great game there for Christian Wood as well. Second round matchup here, we have a scarier matchup because we're going up against a straight-up killer in Ja Morant and his Memphis Grizzlies squad here. We find ourselves down 3-1 in the series here, which is definitely spooky to say the very least. And we're finding ourselves down early here, but you never know. Fourth quarters can be huge in the NBA, and we do actually end up taking a big tide here with a big fourth quarter. Hopefully we can hold on to it as we have about a 20-point lead here in the fourth, and it's looking good for us, boys. We end up outscoring them 50-29 in the fourth quarter there. Huge comeback for us. 24-point game there from Anthony Edwards leading the way for that to happen. And yes, sir, we will take that. I'm very excited. And we get to fight another game here. We'll now be down in the series 3-2. And let's get it, boys. We could do it. Make a little comeback. Wow, Ja Morant dropped 39 and 21 assists in that game, though. That is insane. This boy Ja Morant is something different. But let's hop into it and see what we got going on here, and if we could push this bad boy to a Game 7. We hop into this one, and it's all tied up at 106 apiece here, 3-2. Whoever wins this, well, if the Grizzlies win this, they move on to the next round, and if we win this, we push it to a Game 7 and give ourselves another fighting chance. So let's hope it's that. And it is the Grizzlies' possession here, so we need to clamp up. Double team on Ja, out to Jonas Valanciunas. Swings it back to Brandon Clark, back to Ja at the top of the key. 2 seconds left. He throws up a 3, and it does not go. That's going to push us into overtime here, and of course, we're going to hop back into Simcast and see just how this one ends up playing out, and hopefully we can kind of get a little bit of luck on our side here. And in Simcast here, tied up at 106 apiece, we get the early bucket, but it's not looking good. They did tie it up. They take the lead, and I guess we sold some possessions there. We end up taking the L 114-111. So we get bounced here in the second round by a determined Ja Morant, to say the very least, putting up 27 and 17 in that game as well, going crazy on both sides of the ball for them. But it is what it is. Of course, we are going to have to keep playing until we get ourselves a championship. So hopefully our team can come together next year and get it done. They're versing a Brooklyn Nets team that actually has Kevin Knox as a starter, which is not someone I was prepared to see starting for the Nets. But Ja Morant goes all the way, ends up getting a victory 4-1 over that Nets team in the championship. So we should not be too upset there. Ja just went crazy, and you can't really do too much about that. Our team very much the same coming back here. Emmanuel Quickly actually now our backup point, which is definitely an upgrade. Still 4.5-star system proficiency here with Steven Silas. Coming in with 54 wins on the season, not bad. Third seed in the Western Conference. And looking at these player stats, Anthony Edwards leading the charge, followed by Karl Anthony Towns, followed by D-Book, and then Cade and Christian Wood as far as scoring went on the season, so not too shabby at all. And as you can see here, we have a first-round matchup here up against the New Orleans Pelicans. Of course, Zion and Brandon Ingram on this squad. So hopefully we can actually play up to our potential this year in the playoffs. Back and forth early on with this team, and we find ourselves down a game here 3-2. So we're going to hop into Simcast and hope that we can edge it out here. So let's hop into Simcast and see what we got going on here, baby. Hopefully we can push this to a Game 7 yet again. And it's looking good so far early on. We got a pretty decent lead. We end up taking it 141-120. Zion dropping 31 and 10 for them in that L, but not enough to get it done. Here we go, baby. Go big or go home. Big Game 7 in the first round, and it looks good for us here as we end up taking it 122-106. Anthony Edwards dropping 25, and Zion dropping 34 and 11 in the loss. Moving us into the second round here up against the Warriors, coming in originally as the 7th seed. See what their squad's looking like. I'm not too worried about this team in all honesty. And we find ourselves up 3-0, and they do end up getting a game, but we end up dropping them off in 5. D-Book dropping 24 there. This is the big one, the big test for us here. Western Conference Finals up against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. If there was ever a time we needed to clutch up, boys, it would be right here. We get 2 games back, though, so we did not fold too bad. Hopefully we can edge it out here. That would be a big win, getting us up 3-2 in the series. And yes, sir, we do indeed do so. 29 and 12 there from Christian Wood. Let's get the big dub here and not make this go to a Game 7. Of course, Luka's not going to want to let that happen. So we end up taking it by 20, 141-122. Big dub over Luka and the Mavs, pushing us to the NBA Finals here, where we meet up against the Detroit Pistons. A pretty good squad here, in all honesty. Killian Hayes, Amani Bates, and Zach LaVine, some bucket getters. Finding ourselves in a battle here early on, 2-2, hopping into Simcast. Hopefully we can take this and get a lead in the series 3-2, because that would be huge, and we do end up taking it by 12. Zach LaVine dropping 29 in that loss. And this is the big one here. This next game, go big or go home. Cat dropping 37 for us there. Let's hope we can do it and make this team go from the worst team in the NBA to the very best team in the NBA in only a few short years. And yes, sir, we do. 118-107. Cat getting Finals MVP. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Getting the Minnesota Timberwolves from a worst to first. If you did, drop the like button and subscribe if you are new, boys. Bean out.